Stacy is someone who has, I'm not going to tell her whole story, but she's someone who had absolutely zero social media presence just a few short years ago. And then I'll let her tell you where she is right now and
I'm
how she
here
got
because of
there.
you. I'm here because of you, Tony. Uh, I'm really excited to be here and talk about really how you really got me on this track. I had no social media presence. I really didn't understand social media. I knew that it was big, particularly for younger people. I'm a 60-year-old woman. I'm like, who wants to listen to hear me talk about anything at 60? I thought of it was a young person's platform and those kinds of things. But you really opened my eyes, and I could not believe that when I first got started and I posted my first post on Barnuminiums, which was your idea. Thank you for that. But I didn't know what to expect. And the only people that liked my posts were me and you for a long time. And then finally, it's kind of taken off, and it's kind of a sprouted wings, and it's just I'm holding on for dear life at the end of the rope of the airplane, whereas everything's taking off.
Well, okay. She says it was me, but no, it was her. I only was just having conversations with her about this thing. And what you said was, because I remember it like it was yesterday, even though I can't believe it's almost been 4 years. It was
It'll
right
be
before COVID.
5 years in October.
Oh my gosh, time has
My first
flown
post was
by.
October of 2019.
2019. We were having a conversation in the fall of 2019. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. Maybe social media. I'm going to tell this part because it's really funny because, of course, being friends, you know about my daughter Raven and where she was. And she's like, oh, I wish I could have an Instagram account that's as big as hers. I'll never be able to have an Instagram account as big as hers. And plot twist, over 100,000 followers more than Raven's Instagram account today.
Well,
So you were
she wasn't concentrating on that one. She's really big on
no,
YouTube and TikTok and uh,
but Stacey, you didn't even have. Did you have an Instagram account just
didn't
for
have
your
Instagram
own
account.
fooling around?
Didn't have anything. Didn't have anything, and I really didn't understand the power of social media. Boy, is it powerful! It is talk about being able to reach, and if you're a small business, this is really a way for you to grow your business and let people know where you are and who you are and what services or products you supply for very little money, if you will. You don't have to advertise. You can just go out there and start seeing if people are looking for you. And there was something else that you said to me, Tony, and I think that was really super important. And I didn't understand it at the time. And you said, you have to be small. You want to be as small as you possibly can. And I didn't understand that. But because we're so small, we're not just in construction, but we're in residential construction, and we're in new construction versus say remodeling, and then we're even further down that we're in a specialty type of construction, which is barndominiums. So we have barndominium in our name, which was the other thing you said. You need to have the name of what you do in your name. So that's how we end up eventually coming around to the barndominium company. And people can find us because they're specifically looking for barn doors or barndominiums.
A lot of business creators or creators, period, get so discouraged when they're first starting out and they don't see any traction and nobody's watching your stuff. Like you said, it was me and you. I'm sure it was more than me and you. But I remember early on, you were calling me every single day.
Several
Oh my
times
God, I only got 5 views. Oh my God, only 10 people every day.
every day,
um,
several times a
every
day.
day. Because you felt discouraged.
Yes.
But tell me kind of how you got over it and just
I
kept
got
going.
over it because I had to put my head down because I could either do one of two things. Either I could say, this is not for me, it's going to take too long, this is not going to work. Or I just have to say, I just have to do the work. And I decided just to do the work. And so I did what you need to do, which is you need to engage with other accounts. You need to make sure that you're posting regularly so people can look for your content. And so I used hashtags. I still use hashtags so I can get on multiple different hashtags so people can find me. And then we did something that really gave us a boost, and that's we did a collaboration with a barnuminium company that is out of Dallas, and they came down and did the filming. And at the time, he had about 25,000 followers on Instagram, and I had 10. And so, and then, I remember after he posted the video on YouTube, the next morning I woke up and I had like 5,000 followers. And I was like, wait a minute, there must be something wrong with there must be a glitch because I can't go from 0 to 5,000 just like that, but we did. And over the next several weeks, we continued to pick up more and more followers. And by the end of our first year, we had 25,000 followers on our first year. Our second anniversary, we had 75,000. Last year, we had, the next year we had 250. Then we had 450 last October, and now we're fast approaching 600,000.
That is crazy. But
Crazy.
I know, I mean, people are thinking that's crazy when they're listening, but I happen to know how much work you put into that. I
Wow.
know that you were eating, sleeping, dreaming social media posts. You were engaging. You were talking to other creators. You were following their accounts. You were engaging on their accounts. You also, admittedly, I am not an Instagram expert. And there was only so much I could tell you about Instagram. But what you did was you went out and you learned and you dug into it and you said, oh, this is what really works on Instagram right now. And you experimented and you tried and you just didn't stay stuck. You just kept improving. And there was a time we're talking about niches and niching down and being on a specific topic. There was a time when you felt a little bit discouraged at first because, Barn Dominiums, we got to backtrack and tell everybody what your business is. Stacy is the Barndo lady. Barn Dominiums, she designs fantastic luxury barn dominiums. She is known to me as the Barndo designer to the stars. She may not tell you that, but she is. And that's came from putting herself out there and showing up day after day. But getting back to the niche, at first you were feeling like, oh gosh, who knows what a Barndo is? And still today, when I talk about Barndos, there are people who go, what the heck is that? They're
Yes.
still today. But even 5 years ago, you were feeling like, I'm a little nervous. Maybe I should branch out into I like decor. I like, fixing up my
Interior
porch. I
design,
like
yes.
furniture design. Maybe I should do that. And then you said, no, 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 no. Bring it back, bring it back. Stay the course and see what happens.
Yes.
And so tell me about what your thought processes were with that.
Yeah, so when we first got with Barnuminium Design, they were just starting really to take off a lot in 2019, and really they took off. A lot of it had to do with timing for us because COVID really changed the way people were looking at how they wanted to live. A lot of people are moving out to the country because of we need to be safe, 6 or 8 feet apart. And so folks were saying, you know what, I think I want to not be in the suburbs anymore and not be in the city. I want a little bit of land, a little bit of space between me and my neighbors. So the timing was also a big help for us. So it's because we design spaces that are really designed to be out in the country, not necessarily for subdivision life, if you will. And so, but I stuck with it, and I continue to change and test different things every single week. I'm always looking at something, the way I do my wording, or even a year ago, I did something that was very difficult for me, and that is actually I started getting in front of the camera, and that was very, very difficult for me because I didn't want to do that, but I did, and we really. After a while, it started to pay off. So people want to see my face and want to see me talk about barndominiums, not just show what you can do, but talk about the construction type and how you can decorate them and the things you can do with a barndo. So I'm constantly looking at my strategy and seeing what works for our social media platforms.
I know. And I want to circle back. There's so much we have to talk about. I'm going to try to keep this podcast to an hour, but there's so much I really want people to hear from the horse's mouth. Not calling my friend a horse, but so much I want them to hear directly from your mouth. I'm going to circle back to that getting on camera. But I was talking to another business creator earlier, and we were talking about how with the onset of the internet, there are people who have their businesses and realize they need to market their business. They have an existing business. They need to market it using social media. There are people who see people on social media and say, hey, I want to be on social media. Maybe I could create a business. And I think you fall into that latter category because people need to know that you did not have a barndominium design business before you got on social media.
That's right.
You
I
didn't have one.
didn't have one.
It
Didn't have
was
one at
like
all.
I'm sharing about what I'm interested in, what I'm passionate about, and let me see if I can make that a business. I remember that. I
Yes.
remember you saying, well, gosh, how am I going to make money from this? I mean, this is a lot of work. How am I going to make money? And we tossed around some ideas, and you're like, well, I've done a floor plan or two. I could do some floor plans. Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
But your entire business was built around your social media presence, where then it almost built itself because people started asking. You're like, okay, here's some floor plans, and you're like, yeah, but I
Yes.
need a specific design. I need a custom design.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, well, I can do that. And so it just kind of built from there to all of the things that you're doing, speaking engagements. I don't even know. I can't even keep up with all the things you're doing. So tell us about
Yeah,
how it
let's talk
led to
about
your
that.
business.
So when I got on social media, didn't have a business, was hoping that I could make a business out of it somewhere. Didn't know exactly what it was, because you always ask me, how are you going to monetize that? And I just couldn't figure it out. But I said, I think it'll come. Something will develop in this. So we kept on going. We did this collaboration. After we did the collaboration, uh, people were asking, can you design my barn door? Can you design my barn door? And so we started designing. We opened up the business in June of 2020, right at the start of COVID. So we're not only a startup from a social media that we didn't have a business. We started in the beginning of COVID, and really went from just me to now we've got between part-time and full-time staff 17 that are involved in our business here, where we do design work. We were doing some interior design work, but now we're just doing the floor plan design work for barndominiums, and we design in 41 states currently.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Not
And can
even.
only do that through social media.